What's good, YouTube? So welcome to another video on my channel with your boy Elijah. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about where I see crypto going in the next 5 years. So right now we are in 2022 and this is going to be pushing us closer to the end of the decade, so 2027, 2026. So really interested in a few ideas here. So we're going to be discussing a few things here. So first things and foremost, we're going to be talking about people and organizations, because I think this is a key ingredient in the cryptocurrency market. Whenever we see people enter a space bringing talent and resources, the space tends to multiply by billions. And it's crazy here. Just looking at my screen here, the easiest way to see this is by looking at the total cryptocurrency market cap. You can easily track a metric, which is dollars, that's flowing into the space. So first things first, if I go to January 2019, you can see here the market cap was right around $127 billion. And fast forward to today, we are currently sitting at a $2 trillion market. So we also saw an all-time high, as you see here, of $2.96 trillion. So really interesting, but this is also a super volatile space, as you see here, swinging up that much, but also having moments of declines. Anyway, in this topic today, we're going to talk about DAOs, contributors, and content consumers, because that's the important piece right now that we're currently seeing in the cryptocurrency space. So I want to bring your attention to this flywheel here. And when it really comes to people in the space, one thing that's missing in the cryptocurrency space is identity, because a lot of everything going on is anonymous, because you are attached to a wallet's address on the blockchain. Usually it's a random string of characters, so numbers and just letters, and you have no real identity behind that, usually when it comes to the financial aspect of it. But this flywheel here kind of shows what is going on with these three different pieces: identity, contribution, and consumption, because that's what's happening in this space. So identity necessitates contribution. So it is necessary to contribute to have an identity in this space. And also contribution strengthens identity, meaning the more you contribute to the space with projects, ideas, whatever the case may be, it strengthens your identity in this space. Next thing I wanted to point out here is contribution is improving consumption. So the more projects that are put out here in the cryptocurrency space, the better it is for people to digest and use. So a great example of that is NFTs. So NFTs, a smart contract that already exists within Ethereum, but people creating marketplaces like OpenSea and people creating wallets that can hold it, and etc. So it creates a better experience for people when people contribute to the space. There's easy consumption, and also consumption inspires contribution, because when you create solutions for things, it spawns new problems. So now we're sitting in this space where we have a lot of NFTs in the marketplace, but now we need to weed out what's good and what's not good. And this is just an example using NFTs because it's a utility out there right now. So meaning it inspires people to then go out there and say, okay, how can we verify projects? How can we filter projects for credibility? And then the next thing I wanted to point out here is consumption informs identity. So what you're consuming, or what you're talking, or what you're taking in and how you're using the cryptocurrency space informs who you are, what you're interested in, what your goals are. And then the other thing here is identity encourages consumption, because who you are and how you're moving about in the space, whatever the case may be, it basically would push you to find people that are kind of like you, or people that are interested in similar ideas or goals, and you can kind of push through that together. So that is what I think about when I think about people and organizations in this space. And I think DAOs are a huge piece of this. And this flywheel here is made by Station. Station is a program. I'm going to talk about this in a whole nother video because that's a whole mother load of something to unpack. But this is a startup project basically that's trying to help people, regular everyday people like me and you, transition into Web3 positions, because it's kind of weird and people think, oh, I don't know if I have the skills to quite fit this. Especially when you're not a developer, it's hard to see how you quite fit in Web3 world. But they're trying to build a system that helps people easily track how they're contributing and see and help other people see the contributions people are making. So not to go too deep into that, next thing I want to talk about is the financials and the economics of how the next 5 years are going to be adapting. So really quick here, I want to bring your attention to this article here because the traditional financial world is worth over $866 trillion. Whoa, what is that? So basically we have the equity markets, we have the debt markets, and then we have derivatives, and we have asset management. We have a whole variety of markets that exist out there in the world that are financial instruments that people use every single day. And all of these things dictate how the economy moves. They dictate how a lot of different things in the background that you don't notice day to day, but it dictates a lot of what's going on in the grand scheme of our economy. So cryptocurrency is supposed to be disrupting this market space because it brings a trustless system and decentralization. So a lot of markets in this, we're talking trillions and trillions of dollars. Right now, the cryptocurrency market is 2.3 or $2.0 trillion. And it's looking to grow beyond that point by disrupting all of these markets. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about something in a bit closer to the end of the video, what markets and what industries I think will be disrupted. Not just me, but a lot of other people, credible people, also believe the same thing. So the last thing I wanted to touch on is products, utility, and services. So we've seen NFTs. NFTs kind of came about 2018, 2019, 2017, around that period of time when the market kind of got a lot of investments, a lot of projects were being built. NFTs started out from that era and period of time. The other thing we saw was DeFi services. So right now, DeFi protocols, when it comes to lending, when it comes to borrowing, money markets, a lot of what we're talking about when it comes to the traditional TradFi, a lot of things we touched on just now has to do with the DeFi. So DeFi is trying to decentralize the TradFi. So this is where we're really going to see that spark. So that's really, really interesting. And one thing, again, I wanted to mention here is you see the NFT market surpassed $40 billion in terms of utility factor and how people are trading in this space. The DeFi market right now, so how much money is in this space. So the total, you hear TVL a lot, it's total value locked. So total value locked in the space, meaning people have put that money into a smart contract that lives on the blockchain. And as you see here, sitting at $80 billion, so $80,000 million, which is $80 billion, and it's seen an all-time high of over $100 billion. So this is a very, very interesting cusp because, as we know, exponential growths are what is going to continue to happen in this space as people continue to get more comfortable with blockchain and the technology behind it. So that is something to keep an eye on because there are a lot of other utilities and services that could pop up in the future. And I think a lot of what's going to happen will fit under the umbrella of DeFi. It may just look different. So borrowing, lending, and a few other things, insurance, that kind of thing. We're going to see a lot of those things come about. So all of these things I've talked about today leads me to the conclusion that we will see some mainstream adoption in the next years. And what do I mean by that? I mean, every day you probably walk out of your house, you're seeing some type of cryptocurrency reference somewhere. It's become a bigger part of our mindset and our mind. You can ask the average person out there in the world right now, have you ever heard of Bitcoin? And I'm sure you probably get an answer that says yes. Or if you heard of crypto, it's more of a staple in our minds, more at this point. You've probably heard of Coinbase. You've probably heard of Crypto Coin because they bought out, I think, the Staples Center, so the basketball arena. FTX also has been buzzing a lot. They've become a lot more mainstream, buying out the Golden State Warriors arena, and also being in NASCAR races and UFC fights and everything. So it's becoming more and more present. So I think we're going to see a lot of massive adoption, and these are the industries I think will be disrupted and already being disrupted right now. So banking and payments, first things first. So banking and payments, this is your Bank of America and etc., JP Morgan, whatever the case may be, your savings accounts, and your credit cards, all those things that have to do with how you manage money today and how you pay money to people. So currently today, the easiest way to send remittance anywhere in the world is through cryptocurrency, because it's easy, seamless, trustless, borderless, it's powerful. You can easily send money to anyone, anywhere in the world at any moment, up to you, and anyone can receive it. All they need is a phone and an internet. So the barrier to entry is really low, no fees or little to no fees depending on the cryptocurrency network you're choosing. So choose wisely. The next thing here is insurance. So how are you going to be insuring whatever assets that you hold? And the really interesting thing here is insurance can be disrupted really easily because of smart contracts. So you could lock away some assets in terms of collateral, whatever, and the smart contract on the other side could also lock up some assets, or whoever is on the other side, the liquidity pool of providers that are trying to insure you, could lock up some assets for you to prevent anything from happening to your asset, just in case. And if anything does happen, then use that asset that was locked away. So that's just an idea. I'm not sure exactly how the networks are pushing this out, but these are different things that could be put in place, because all the cryptocurrency projects are doing is disrupting traditional spaces by making a trustless system, a trustless ledger that lives on the internet or blockchain, and anyone has access to it, and no one essentially can break a smart contract. At least ideally, that's the hope and expectations that we have. The next thing is voting, and we see this through DAOs and tokens. So people can vote on different things when it comes to proposals on blockchain. That's the most immediate way we see this today. Validator nodes or are voting on proposals on how to move a network in a direction. So the validator nodes are choosing whether or not to reduce fees or gas fees, or whatever updates or progress needs to be done to the blockchain. And that's just one aspect. This voting could happen in even down to the organization. So DAOs today that we're seeing, it can be easy for people to create an organization and get a split token just like you would a company, and share it up into tokens. So I own 33% of a company, and then my other buddies own 33% of a company. So we have a max supply of tokens, and we just split it in 33% equally. And that's how we vote on proposals within each other. And you could expand that organization beyond 3 people. It would function the same way, and people can vote. Forecasting, government is voting and how you utilize resources. So essentially a treasury and a group of people that are voting on how to go about using a treasury, essentially government. And then crowdfunding, people can raise money very, very easily because you can store it on a treasury wallet. You can create a nonprofit organization and make a treasury wallet that lives in the blockchain and needs to be voted on how it's used. So you have a decentralized organization with like 5 other people, and then you and 5 other people vote on proposals and how to use the tokens that are generated through crowdfunding. Retail, we can see this unfold in any way. You can see stores, everyday stores start to take cryptocurrency. The closest thing I see to helping possibly make that happen is companies like Square that own Cash App and Venmo, because they allow you to buy cryptocurrency currently today, and they also will make it easy for you to get a credit card or a debit card that you can use your cryptocurrency to purchase things with. This is probably a little bit further off because the cryptocurrency market is so volatile that people probably wouldn't be using it for buying everyday items. But this is still a possibility for some types of currencies like stable coins, for example. So USDC, USDT, and other stable coins, because they're less volatile than the dollars or than the other cryptos. Last thing is real estate, because NFTs make it possible for you to have a unique copy of any contract. So you can essentially store the deeds or the title to a house in an NFT, and it would be a unique contract, yours and immutable, so no one else can replicate it. Anyway, this is what I think could happen in the world that we're currently looking at today. A lot of different things could go about happening. We're not quite sure, but we're gonna continue to watch this closely and see what does unfold. Anyway, if you love this video in any fashion, make sure you destroy that like button, because it's going to motivate me to continue to make awesome, dope videos like this. If you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you stick around, because you do not want to miss the next one I got going on. 2022 is off to a great start, and I'm excited to take this to the next level. Anyway, it was your boy Elijah again. Thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
flex to the masses, pouring out the deuce in an all black outfit.